And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Monday, the 4th day of November, 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. I will dispense with my usual opening comments because we are in a situation here in the Cayman Islands where weather conditions are expected to deteriorate, and there are so many things happening at the same time. So it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the Director General of the National Weather Service here in the Cayman Islands, Mr. John Tibbetts, and the Director of HMCI. Good morning.
Good morning to all the listeners.
Okay, and we're in November, and true to form, by hurricanes. Well, I guess John, you'll kick things off and tell us give us the latest weather report and analysis.
Okay. Well, good morning, one and all. We have a potential tropical cyclone 18 at 7 a.m. this morning, located about 14.8 north, 76.8 west. That's about 425 miles southeast Grand Cayman. The storm is carrying about 35 miles per hour sustained winds, and it's moving north at about 7 miles per hour. The system is expected to take Grand Cayman. Pardon me. The distances on that was it was going to pass 22 miles west of Little Cayman and 35 miles west of Cayman Brac and about 60 miles northeast of Grand Cayman. The storm at that particular time would have would be regarded as a very powerful tropical storm to a borderline hurricane. Mm-hmm. It is expected to be classified as a hurricane. According to the forecast, it would be classified as a hurricane on the way out from the Cayman Islands. So this is how close we are to it. Mm-hmm. When we're looking at the maximum winds that we're expecting in the sister islands, the wind gusts themselves will be in the hurricane force area. So the system is expected to bring obviously a lot of rough seas and a lot of rainfall. I don't have the particulars on me right now. I think the last numbers I saw was about 11 inches maximum rainfall for the sister islands. We issued a hurricane warning as of 7 a.m. this morning. For those individuals that jumped on it and maybe jumped on the Hurricane Center website and grabbed the bulletin this morning, it was probably still saying a watch. A correction had been sent out since then. The Cayman Islands is indeed under a hurricane warning as of 7 a.m. this morning.
Okay, and can you speak to the distinction between a hurricane watch and a hurricane warning, and what would be the next stage if we could possibly go to?
Okay, well, a hurricane watch is usually issued 48 hours in advance of the onset of the tropical storm force winds associated with the system, with a hurricane. Okay, and the warning is done at 36 hours. Okay, so it doesn't say that you're going to get hurricane force winds in 36 hours. It marks the onset of tropical storm force winds that's associated with a hurricane.
Mm-hmm. And are the atmospheric conditions such that it could get stronger between now and tomorrow?
The conditions themselves are still have a degree of favorability to it, and so the storm is being forecast to gradually strengthen. All right, there are no signs of rapid intensification at this point, but there is a gradual strengthening of the storm. I will say that if you do look at the system right now, the National Hurricane Center does not call this a tropical depression. Okay, it calls it a potential tropical cyclone. Okay, that means the organization that's in the system itself is not yet that at the level that it can be called a tropical depression. They're waiting for the proper structure around it to form up so that they can actually call it a system per se. This idea of a potential tropical cyclone was actually commenced a few years back when we were listening to the disaster managers, and the disaster managers at times need warnings to be issued. The weatherman's hands were tied because if we don't have a tropical depression name, we can't issue a tropical storm warning or a hurricane warning or anything like that. We have to wait until a tropical depression comes along. So they came up with this potential tropical cyclone to help us in that regard.
Excellent, excellent. Danny, we're going to come to you. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to hear from Hazard Management Cayman. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
The silver thatch palm, native only to the Cayman Islands, was a highly useful and versatile tree. The open leaves were used in roofing, the ribs used for brooms, and the unopened leaf spikes woven into hats, mats, fans, and baskets. However, the most important product of the silver thatch, also the most marketable, was its usage in rope making. The rope was primarily made in West Bay, North Side, East End, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. Thatch ropes were used by all local fishermen and those in Jamaica, and the thinner gauge rope knitted into nets for turtle fishing. By the 1950s, synthetic fiber rope made its way into the market. Although not a huge source of profit at 9 pence per 100 yards, rope making was vital, especially for women, and meant the difference between survival or being destitute.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are here. Get your tickets now and win that $40,000 grand prize, $4,000 second prize, and 6 $1,000 prizes. Tickets are only $25. Get your tickets now from any Rotary Central member, Rotary Central ticket seller, eventpro.ky, and 916-7310. Rotarian Annie Rose Scott, the Sister Islands. You may be that lucky winner. Rotary Central, supporting more than 28 projects important to our community. The 29th Annual Rotary Central Music Extravaganza, Saturday, November 30th. Salty's Harbor Grill, Red Bay, the magic of Rotary, through Rotary Central.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay Mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
And just to let you know, sand and sandbags are available at the following locations. Grand Cayman from 12 p.m. onwards, West Bay Fire Station, Linford Pearson Highway, Agricultural Pavilion, and Frankstown Fire Station. In Cayman Brac from 8 this morning until 4 p.m., sand and sandbags will be available at Cotton Tree Bay and Watering Place Gardens.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Ms. Danielle Coleman, who is the Director of Hazard Management Cayman Islands, and Mr. John Tibbetts, who's the Director General of the National Weather Service. We're talking about the approaching weather system that is expected to impact the Cayman Islands sometime tomorrow. So we're now going to hear from Danielle Coleman. Danielle, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Spent a lot of time here this year. Good morning, listeners. It's really good to be here this morning. And again, as you heard from John Tibbetts, we are under hurricane warning as of 7 a.m. this morning. A lot has been going on over the weekend, the last four days, just to ready ourselves, because at the end of the day, these situations are so dynamic. So we always err on the side of caution. Get the systems ready, get the people ready, get the institution organised, basically the whole structure, and then we can always pare back. So right now we have been over the weekend in full steam, which has included several briefings of the executive level, which is the cabinet and obviously the governor, premier, and so forth, DG. And also the council. So the council being kept up to date all weekend, and that's a much wider group of people. There's about 50 people on that. So several meetings have happened at that level. We've also been liaising with our friends from the Red Cross, obviously from a volunteer perspective, but also from the sheltering perspective. And we have been putting a plan in order in regards to activation of any shelters that we may need to do so. Now, obviously, given the state of play right now, we are still a bit uncertain as to what's going to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, we've got the warnings in place, But again, things can change. So, as I say, we're getting things ready. So those shelters are getting ready this morning, and we'll have a plan of action as to what that looks like from an activation standpoint. We're looking at one per district, but again, if the situation doesn't warrant activation, then we won't do it. If it does warrant it, we will activate all those shelters, and there'll be 5 shelters perhaps open in total. And those shelters, again, will be Red Cross as the primary shelter, but also East End Civic Centre, Northside Civic Centre, Bontown Breakers, and West Bay John Gray Memorial Church. But as I mentioned, these are not going to be open. That notification will be made to the public what the plan is with these throughout the morning today. In regards to the National Emergency Operations Centre, as I say, we've been liaising all weekend with our cluster leaders from the NEAC. And we're looking right now as to whether we'll be doing a partial activation or a full activation. But again, that depends on the actual risk at hand, and we'll be monitoring today with the weather guys to see what kind of level we need to do for that. As you heard, you saw the public education yesterday the education schools being closed tomorrow. They are open today but closed tomorrow. And again, we've been working closely with our friends from schools, from the education department, as well as Public Works Department, NRA. I know the NRA and Public Works Department are shuttering off the Class A shelters this morning, and again, the old persons' homes and so forth. And then they'll be doing schools this afternoon. Obviously, we can't interfere with schooling this afternoon until the school's closed. We're going to be working with our friends, obviously, again from NRA for drains and emergency pumps. They've been on board for that. Liaising with the sister islands very, very closely. Obviously, the sister island impact looks potentially bigger than Grand Cayman. So they've been on board all weekend to talk about what their plans are. And again, in regards to sandbags, but also for general preparedness. Mr. Mark Tibbetts has been very much on speed dial this weekend. We've been talking with our friends from Cayman Airways as well about the plan of action for those flights, and I know we're going to get more information by early this morning. A lot of going on with public messaging. You would have seen, obviously, everyone's phones are going off the hook with these public messaging. And again, just a reminder to please stay tuned in to official sources, because it's so important. Things can change so dramatically, so quickly. And it was just yesterday, and we started our meetings, I think, yesterday morning at about 7 a.m. I had a break, I think, between 2 and 2:45, and even between that time, there was a significant change that we had in a hurricane. We were under hurricane watch at that time as opposed to tropical storm. So it just goes to show how quickly this situation is. It's just very dynamic. So we really do strongly encourage the public to be constantly tuned in to official sources. A lot's also going on with logistics, because of course radio distribution for our key stakeholders is a big part today. Getting the flags up, you would have seen the flags all around the buildings. Yep, well, they've been going up on the weekend, and will change every time there's a change in storm activity. We'll be working with our damage assessment teams as well, so to get them pre-organised for deployment after the passing, and say probably Wednesday morning. Again, Chamber of Commerce, of course, they're on board because we're working with supermarkets. Okay. Obviously, supermarkets need to be in line as to whether they're going to be opening or not. This morning, we will be activating the disaster charter. Again, just from a mapping perspective for hazard management, we like to do this for any storm, because you can have the pre-photographs and then the post-photographs. And even if there's not a lot of damage, it's amazing how much, when you look at the damage assessments and you look at damage from what we've seen already this year from different storms, even the Nor'wester, that does have a financial implications for the government and for the Cayman Islands. So we like to make sure that we've got really good evidence-based modelling for that. We're working with our CERT teams, our community emergency response teams. And funnily enough, they've been very busy already over the weekend, because we had a big activity day on Saturday, and that was working again with Red Cross, with police, with Coast Guard, with regiment and so forth, trying to make sure that they get ready for whatever the season holds. Now, of course, that's things like damage assessments and search and rescue and tying knots and so forth. So again, they've sort of had a very quick refresher as to what they may need to do this week. We were also talking very closely with the overseas territories and with the FCDO in London. Dawn, you may remember the motor vessel Dawn that came in a couple of months ago. Yes. They've been checking in with us, and of course SEDEMA, which is the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. So there's a lot going on. And again, I think we just got to make sure we are erring on the side of caution. We have all these things in place. Great practice run if by chance we don't need it, but at the same time we can pare back whenever we need to.
Okay, we're going to go to our 8 o'clock news, and I know you folks have a 8:30 meeting. When we come back from the news, we want to talk a little bit more. By now, individuals should know their personal circumstances in terms of, when we have a weather system, what it is that they need to do. And I want to talk, some about that, what people should know what they need to do based on what has occurred before. If they're living in a flood-prone area, what needs to be done. If they're living in a coastal area, and John, we would want to hear more in terms of what, if you can tell what side of the islands it's likely to be more impacted, things of that nature. We hear about sandbagging. We haven't heard, much about plywood and stuff based on the projected strength of the hurricane. But again, people should be pretty much prepared based on the level of activity that we have had so far this year. So we want to talk some about that as well as soon as we return from our 8 o'clock news. So folks, don't change that dial because this applies to you as well. This will impact you. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Together, we make a difference. Due to stigma, many men silently endure the physical and mental issues of prostate cancer. This persists when society turns a blind eye to the well-being of our brothers, fathers, and sons. This month, Foster's and Price Right, alongside the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, is shining a spotlight on an issue that doesn't need to hide in the dark. Donate today at any Foster's or Price Right simply by rounding up your purchase or donating. Together, the CICS can provide support, initiatives, and give everyone suffering from this disease a chance at healing.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm April Cummings. A hurricane warning is in effect for the Cayman Islands at this hour.
Tropical storm force winds are likely to be experienced over the Cayman Islands within the next 36 hours, ahead of possible hurricane conditions.
Cayman Islands National Weather Service Chief Meteorologist Carrie Powery providing an update on potential tropical cyclone 18, which is moving north at 7 miles per hour and expected to move between Grand Cayman and Little Cayman on Tuesday.
While the showers around this system gradually becomes better organized, its circulation center is not yet well defined. This is one of the reasons the National Hurricane Center continues to define this system as a potential tropical cyclone. Given the forecast guidance, models suggest that a tropical storm could form today.
As a result, preparation should be top of mind today.
On behalf of the government of the Cayman Islands, I encourage the community to use the daylight hours today to put all necessary preparations in place.
Deputy Governor, the Honorable Franz Manderson. For Hazard Management Cayman Islands, the hurricane warning phase is important to take seriously.
The system is unpredictable in its development, and we must remain vigilant.
HMCI's Danny Coleman says because there is the potential for flooding, sandbag locations have been set up across Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac.
Residents are encouraged to visit these points as soon as possible, and assistance will be on hand between 12 and 2 and 4 and 6 at Grand Cayman locations and 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Cayman Brac locations. These resources are available to support you in securing vulnerable areas around your property. Sand is also available for persons to collect using their own supplies.
In Grand Cayman, the locations from noon onward: West Bay Fire Station, Linford Pearson Highway, the Agriculture Pavilion, and Frankstown Fire Station. In the Brac, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., the locations are Cotton Tree Bay and Watering Place Gardens. We checked in with Leader of the Opposition and Member of Parliament, the Honourable Joey Hugh.
Those of us in the low-lying areas are just starting to dry out, and the NRA were out over the weekend and were expected today to continue repairing the roads that were underwater for a sustained period of time. So we are a bit anxious with this, and we'll prepare as best as we can. The NRA and Hazard Management will be deploying sandbags as usual, and I will continue to keep everyone up to date as the day progresses. encourage everyone to be prepared and be safe.
The Honourable Joey Hugh, Leader of the Opposition. That is your local news at this hour. I'm April Cummings. Now to the BBC for stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News with Danielle Yawowiecka. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are campaigning in key swing states ahead of Tuesday's presidential election. Opinion polls suggest the race is among the most tightly fought in US history, and the outcome will depend on a handful of states. The United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees has warned that the Israeli ban on its operations could end humanitarian efforts in Gaza. Israel has rejected this and says UNRWA carries out just 13% of the work. Iran has accused Washington of destabilizing the situation in the Middle East. The US said it would deploy strategic bombers in the region following Tehran's threat to retaliate for Israeli strikes. The authorities in Tehran have confirmed the execution of a Jewish Iranian man. He was convicted of murder, but rights groups say the sentence was carried out at a time of heightened anti-Israeli sentiment. 8 people have gone on trial in France accused of spreading misinformation that led to the Islamist murder of a schoolteacher 4 years ago. They had claimed Samuel Paty had shown pupils cartoons of Prophet Muhammad. At least 10 people have died on the Indonesian island of Flores, where a volcano is erupting. An area of 7 kilometres around Mount Lewatobi Laki has been cordoned off. Chad says it's withdrawing its soldiers from a multinational force fighting insurgents in West Africa. The move puts the future of the operation in doubt. There's been another night of aerial Russian attacks on Ukraine. At least 3 people were killed in the strikes that targeted the country's second largest city, Kharkiv, and the area around it. And Quincy Jones, one of the giants of US music, has died at the age of 91. During a career spanning 7 decades, the producer and composer worked with stars from Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson and covered genres from jazz to pop. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Hi, Corinne. How are you doing, dear?
Hello, Gina. I am not too good. I can't seem to get on top of my health issues.
I'm so sorry to hear this. Have you been to the Light Room? I understand they're getting remarkable results with all sorts of physical and mental issues.
What is the Light Room?
It is a self-healing sanctuary that uses clinically proven multi-bio-energy fields and frequencies, including light and sound, to bring the body, mind, and spirit into balance. You simply go in, lie down, and relax, and your body synchronizes with the frequencies. It charges up the cellular voltage, brings left and right brain into balance. Simply put, it provides the body with the right environment to heal itself. No side effects or contraindication.
It sounds exactly like what I need. Where is it located?
They're located at 38 Pasadora Place. You can book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 938-4325.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, site screenings, spelling bees, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
A pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the very latest weather report. As of 7 this morning, a hurricane warning is in effect for all 3 Cayman Islands. Residents are urged to take immediate precautions to secure your homes and ensure your safety. Forecasted impacts: Grand Cayman up to 6 inches of rain, winds over 39 miles per hour, gusts up to 74 miles per hour. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman up to 11.5 inches of rain, strong winds and high wave action of 9 to 13 feet. Flood and small craft warnings in place. Sandbag locations are open. Present temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 77%. The barometric pressure 1011 millibars. The wind is out of the east-northeast at 14 knots. Synopses indicate fresh to strong winds accompanied with rough seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next few days, as the tight pressure gradient over the Cayman area associated with a strong high-pressure system over the western Atlantic Ocean and a broad area of low pressure over the southwest Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area drifting towards the southwest. Now the forecast for today and tonight calling for cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s today and fall to the upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be northeast at 20 to 25 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 11:34, with a low tide this evening at 5:34, and a high tide again tonight at a minute after 10. The sun will set this evening at 5:49 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:28. And the outlook is calling for fresh to strong winds with rough seas to continue through this afternoon, as the area of low pressure and disorganized showers over the southwest Caribbean becomes better organized and drifts towards the northwest Caribbean. An increase in cloudiness and showers is expected from Tuesday morning. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Hey, did you register to vote yet? The final registration deadline to vote in the 2025 general elections will be the 1st of January, 2025. Go to elections.ky to download your registration form. Once you've filled it out, take the form and the originals of all your required documents to the elections office. They're located on West Bay Road in Baytown Office Suites. Or you can even email it to them. Register to vote by January 1st, 2025. For more information, visit visit elections.ky, call 949-8047, or email office@elections.ky. Your vote is your voice. Make it count.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Traffic is heavy coming from the east on Shamrock Road, Linford Pearson Highway. Slow moving traffic on Crew Road heading to Georgetown. Coming off of the yesterday Tibbetts Highway, stayed a bit flowing traffic. And continuing on to North Sound Road, Industrial Park area, moderate flow of traffic. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue traffic is flowing at a good pace in both directions, and moderate flow of traffic in both directions on Owen Roberts Drive, as well as coming from the West Bay four-way stop. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving along moderately in both directions as well. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and drive safe.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
During or after a storm, do not take unnecessary risks like going back into a dangerous area to salvage material possessions or refusing to evacuate. Remember, things can be replaced, but people cannot. Visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky for more hurricane survival tips.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, the Director General of the National Weather Service here in the Cayman Islands, Mr. John Tibbetts, and the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman, Ms. Danielle Coleman. Before I throw the mic back over to Ms. Coleman to talk about, people knowing their individuals knowing their personal circumstances when it comes to inclement weather, whether they live in a flood-prone area or what their needs may be. We do this, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times for the year, so it should become, more familiar, but we'll talk more about that. But before I throw the mic over to them, we have a public service announcement coming from the Water Authority, Cayman, and it reads, account reconnections. In anticipation of Tropical Cyclone 18, Water Authority Cayman will reconnect service to all customers who were disconnected in the last month for non-payment. Reconnection will take place today, Monday the 4th of November, and this reconnection is to ensure that all customers can make the necessary preparations and store sufficient water for drinking and non-drinking purposes. Following the passing of the storm, any accounts not brought to good standing will be disconnected again. And the authority encourages all customers to take note of the various storm preparedness recommendations found on www.caymanprepared.gov.ky and the water and sewage specific tips on their website, which is www.waterauthority.ky. They also urge you to please continue to follow official channels, listen to your radio, or visit our website and or social media accounts for further updates. So, folks, that is very commendable of the Water Authority to make such a move to reconnect those persons who were disconnected for non-payment during the last month. But of course, if they don't get things corrected after the storm has passed, they will be disconnected again.
Yeah, I think that's a great move from the Water Authority, and thank you them. They've actually been working with us again over this weekend because they are the lead agency for the utilities emergency support team. So we've been liaising obviously with CUC, with Get Home Gas, and all the fuel companies and so forth, just to make sure they're ready. And again, they have a very smooth structure over there with that emergency support team. So we're very grateful for that. Let's talk a bit about personal preparedness. Again, I mean, I think everyone has a bit of a different risk appetite. And I'm always reminding people that, we're in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat. So a lot of people who have very big houses and have very high elevation, their preparedness levels may be a bit different from someone who's living in a very low-lying area in a one-story building with severe flooding around them. And I think it's so important that we do take a moment to really appreciate the social differences between people, because, we far too often hear it's like, I'm not sure why everyone's getting so nervous about it. I'm like, well, yeah, but you live in a very, very nice house, and, you're not going to get flooded out. You're not going to have your windows broken because you've got secure windows. So please, please, please be sensitive to your neighbour, your brother and sister around the Cayman Islands. Securing, as I say, everyone has a different risk appetite and everyone has a different setup anyway, house setup. But I think it really is important just to be wary about what the system is. There could be changes. We don't know. We're really hoping it stays as is. But again, we're not expecting rapid intensification, but things change all the time. It's very dynamic. So making sure you have the supplies you need. I don't think you need to go raid any of the supermarkets. It's what we always see this, or the DIY shops right now. But at the same time, just be aware. Get a few extra tins in here, and know that you may be sort of at home for a couple of days. Making sure you've got your pets secured, your any kind of outdoor furniture secured. The food supplies that you need. You probably already have enough in the house, but if you don't, then maybe a couple of extra cans. Sandbags, again, we've made sandbags available again to you. So please make sure if you do need sandbags, go get them from those locations. But more importantly, if you don't need sandbags, please don't get them, because a lot of people on the island do really need these sandbags. Can
you speak to the locations? Do we know the locations at this
yes,
point in
indeed
time?
I can. I've right in front of me. We've got the West Bay Fire Station, Linford Pearson Highway, Agricultural Grounds, and the Frank Sound Fire Station. In Cayman Brac, we've got Cotton Tree Bay and Warding Place Gardens. So they'll be open. I know Cayman Brac will be open those locations from 8 till 4, so they're open already. And then there's 4 Grand Cayman locations, 12 o'clock onwards. So it's really, really important. Again, we're also working with Little Cayman potentially to get a site there if needs be. It's just very important to get those. Get your house ready, get your towels out, and in case you've got flooding through the windows or the doors, and just make sure your family are prepared for it. We've got some really good information on our website, caymanprepared.ky, of what you can do. If you want to shut up your home, by all means do so. But again, it's making sure that you are comfortable for the next couple of days, and again, do what you can to make sure you're ready. I think it's only the little small things can make a big difference. Also, if you haven't downloaded the National Emergency Notification app, please do. It's nens.gov.ky. Again, this is going to be helping with all alerts. So all the alerts that we've done so far for the watch and warning, for example, and the alert has been sent out through NENS. If we have something dramatic change, or we have another incident simultaneously, you'll get an alert for whatever it is. If it's a very urgent action, you'll get a very loud alert. So if by chance we had an earthquake in the middle of the night, I'm not saying we're going to, but if we did, you're going to get a very loud alert. Now, for the storm activity, you'll just get a soft tone alert, and you'll get it on your SMS, your email, and so forth. And it's just a great another way to get information to you. If we need to share this information, so obviously social media and official sources, government channels, hazard management, weather, and so forth will have all the information. But this is another level, can make your life a lot easier.
Mr. Tibbetts, I guess any idea in terms of what the tides will be like at certain times, as well? Will that likely impact any surge that we have, as far as the oceans are concerned? And also, what sides of the islands are likely to be impacted, based on any projections, if you may have that information?
Okay. Well, first thing I think I'd like to start off by saying, please understand that this system is still fairly disorganized. There may be errors, or the path, the forecast path that it has may change. Okay? I don't think it's a situation where you're going to end up with a major hurricane tomorrow. It's not that kind of a system. Okay. However, the path may change. And I was looking at the predictions for just an example, the rainfall, for example, max winds. The max winds right now and the rainfall totals are much higher for the sister islands than for Grand Cayman. But that's because of where the storm is forecast to go. Okay? If that forecast path changes, then your predictions for rainfall, your predictions for winds and stuff like that will change. In terms of the tides and the seas, the sea numbers that I was seeing for a peak was 9 to 13 feet. Okay, and the tides themselves, I'm trying to switch real quick and get a tide table up off the National Weather Service website. You can get the month worth of tides on the from the National Weather Service website at any time you get those. Tides are at 11:34 in the morning and at 10:01 p.m. in the evening. Those are high tides, and it is during these times that they will give extra support to inland water and coast wave action and what have you. Okay, the bigger tide the highest tide is really at 11:34 a.m. But they're fairly close. But two high tides: 11:34 in the morning, 10:01 p.m. in the evening at night.
Okay, Danny, I'm going to give you an opportunity to read what the caller, the listener has written in, and an opportunity to respond as well.
Thank you, OC. I can see a blessed good morning to you, OC, your panel, and all Radio Cayman staff. When you have a moment, please can you ask Ms. Danielle if persons needing to check in at shelters, if they will need any form of ID, and if it will only be allowed in their respective districts, or can they go outside the other shelters? Thanks in advance. So all shelter managers should have ID, NEAC Act ID. It says essential staff or essential volunteer, whatever, which would be the NEAC card. So we will need all shelter and anyone responding to the next few days if there are any issues with curfew. And there's nothing right now in place for curfew, so let me make that very clear. But I do think carrying those IDs with you is going to be a very good thing.
But what about if the person's wanting to use the shelter to enter it? Will they need IDs?
No. We've been very clear about that because we do want to make sure anyone in the Cayman Islands who needs sheltering can come into shelters. You will have to register, and obviously there's a registration process, but our shelter teams will help you with that.
Excellent. Okay, Mike is yours. Anything else that we want to? Okay. This person, Mr. Tibbetts, wants me to ask you whether there's any indication or possibility of the system going through rapid intensification before reaching the Cayman Islands. I think similar to what I asked earlier, but
Usually when you're talking about rapid intensification and what have you, you're usually talking about a well-established storm. And it going through things like what we define as an eye wall replacement or a time period where you have a very sudden jump in the intensity of the storm. This is not that type of storm. This storm right now is not very healthy right now. The Hurricane Center has not gone up to even call it a tropical depression at this particular point. So for right now, you plan for a tropical storm at the most borderline hurricane type conditions is what I think we're going to see. But of course, things do change, and let's see how that works out.
Okay. I know you folks have another meeting, so I want to give both of you an opportunity for some closing comments. And of course, Radio Cayman, we're here in the event that you need to come on, quickly or whatever.
We'll probably see you.
Always Mr. Tibbetts, let's start with you.
Just pay attention to your local sources. We've over this past year, there has been significant investment by the Cabinet Office and the comms team and the National Weather Service and Hazards Management working together to ensure that we can get the message out in a timely manner and accurate manner. It's very important to understand that we are the true source for the weather in the Cayman Islands, and when we provide information, it is streamlined for the Cayman Islands, not for the wider Northwest Caribbean or any other place. The other thing with it is basically is that one of the reasons that you stay closely linked with the source, you've probably not seen the last of what this system is going to become before it goes through the Cayman Islands. So plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Yes, yeah. Danielle?
Yeah, I agree. It's always better to prepare and then prepare back, no matter whether you're talking about your own personal preparedness or obviously the government national response. It's so important people do have plans, and if you're going to a shelter, obviously listen when those shelters open, and that will be really very soon. But make it your place, and you have your small bag to go there with you and your obviously food supplies. Just looking at each other, we've obviously the Kind, which is our mental health helpline, will be activated and very available. So I know a lot of people have gone through a lot of stresses over the last, we've all had with weather this year. And I think that's bearing down a lot of people. So, if you need the support, please make sure you're calling that helpline. And just supporting each other. Again, we are not in the same boat here. So please, if you do have extra time or resources or whatever it looks like, help each other. We're Cayman Kind. Let's make sure we're doing this together. And no matter what the next 2 days holds for us all, we're working together, we're communicating, we're sharing official sources, we've done everything we can to be ready, and again, we're in a really good place. I think the mechanism is being tested so often these days that actually from a national response perspective, I think everyone's very comfortable with what's happening internally, obviously as logistics and so forth. But again, please stay safe, Cayman. Please do not put yourself at risk in any shape or form, and just look out for each other.
And can you remind those listeners who may not have already subscribed to the NENS app, how to go about doing that?
Yeah, it's NENS, so it's NENS.gov.ky. And again, if there's any technical issues, please call us. But again, we're very busy today at Hazard Management's office, but we will try and help you download it. There is some very good notes that we'll obviously be putting out on our social media pages as to how to do that, but you have to register first. So we often get the same technical issues, but actually it's because people haven't registered. So those instructions will be on caymanprepared.ky today. And again, any technical issues, there's a phone number there and an email number to call us.
Okay, and while you still have the mic, Danny, this person has come back to us and they said they really didn't hear the answer to whether or not a person can go outside of their district shelters to other shelters.
Absolutely. If you want to go to a different, obviously most people will go closer to home because they can get back home afterwards. Apologies to the author of that message that I didn't respond to that. Yes, you can go to whichever shelter you wish to go to. However, obviously, first come, first serve. If you have pets, obviously that's a consideration. But also making
because
sure
only certain shelters will allow pets. Yeah,
exactly. But also make sure that again, if you want to get home quickly afterwards, after a storm, or not quickly, please don't go home quickly because obviously it means you're speeding on a very flooded road. But if you want to be closer to home, I would recommend you go to a shelter closest to your home. but you can choose out of any of the shelters. But again, the information on shelters will be released very, very soon as to opening times and which shelters will be open and so forth.
And that information can be obtained where?
Everywhere. It's going to go, like with all our, CaymanPrepared.ky, all the government channels, all that information will be coming out on the WhatsApp groups. Again, please share those freely, those WhatsApp government messages. But you will, and again, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those kind of places. And if there's any issues, again, CaymanPrepared.ky will have that information too.
Excellent. Mr. Tibbetts, Danny, thank you very much again for being here and sharing all of this very important information with the people of the Cayman Islands. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we will revert to our regular programming. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman News.
The four of us this morning have tendered our resignation.
The four cited a number of concerns as the reason for their departure.
The political arm of government appears to remain in a holding pattern.
Progressive said the resignations highlight a, quote, urgent crisis in the Cayman Islands government.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning.
Ouch.
When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going now to our regular scheduled programming on For the Record. First of all, I want to say thank you to Minister Kenneth Bryan. He was scheduled to come on with his team to talk about the recent FCCA meeting that was held, and he gave up his slot so that we could have representatives from the National Weather Service as well as Hazard Management Cayman come on air so that you could be updated on the situation as far as the weather is concerned. So I want to thank Minister Bryan, for that, and depending on what takes place within the next 48 hours, we will definitely have him rescheduled to come on, hopefully another day this week as well. So meanwhile, the birthday shout-outs, they would have been brought to you by Coca-Cola. Proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. They always tell you should accept no substitutes Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Let's look at the birthdays. So we see today, no, actually this was yesterday. Yesterday, Joan Fleming celebrated a birthday. Delbert Hall also celebrated a birthday. Osborne Borden celebrated a birthday. Verlene Kelly also celebrated a birthday. Tomorrow we have Nella Joy Watler will be celebrating a birthday. Durley Dale Christian will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow as well. Still trying to find one for today. Do we have any? Any for today, Miss Susan? We have the 3rd. If we have some for today, we will certainly share them with you as well. And to remind you that, for the record, birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. They are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Folks, our phone lines are open. If you, we don't have any specific topic, but if you want to talk about your preparations, where you find yourself, as far as being prepared, do you have to do things all over again, or do you still have your sandbags? If you don't have permanent hurricane shutters, do you still have your plywood, even though based on what we know so far, those things may not be needed? If you live near the coast, are you prepared for any possible rough seas? And again, there's no good time for weather system to come, but here in the Cayman Islands, it couldn't come at a worse time after having gone through other similar situations just recently, as well. Again, to remind you that the Water Authority, they have advised that they will reconnect service to all customers who were disconnected in the last month. Those customers would have been disconnected for non-payment. So the reconnection will take place today, Monday the 4th of November. The reconnection is being done to ensure that all customers can make the necessary preparations and store sufficient water for drinking and non-drinking purposes. Of course, following the passing of the storm, any accounts that have not been brought to good standing will be disconnected again. So you're getting a temporary reprieve, having your water reconnected so that you will have sufficient water for drinking and non-drinking purposes. But after the storm, if you haven't made good and brought your account up to date, you will be disconnected again. And of course, the authority also encourages all customers to take note of the various storm preparedness recommendations that can be found on www.caymanprepared.gov.ky, and also the water and sewage specific tips, which can be found on their website at www.waterauthority.ky. And I encourage you to please continue to listen and follow official channels, as well. Okay, Miss Susan? Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money transfer card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
36 world finalists from 12 countries, 3 winning teams, and 1 global competition. It's the 2024 Young Chef, Young Waiter, Young Mixologist World Finals. This November 22nd to 24th in Singapore, and the Cayman Islands is in the finals. Cayman's Young Chef Champion, Brittany Bodden, Young Waiter Champion, Steph McDermott, and Young Mixologist Champion, Cody Wright, will be competing for the ultimate prize of $15,000. Join us in cheering on our young professionals, tomorrow's leaders in hospitality and service, as they represent the Cayman Islands on the world stage. Supported by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport, and Development.
The STEPS National Health Survey results indicate that the Cayman residents spent 50% more time in sedentary activity in 2023 than in 2012. The World Health Organization recommends 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per day for adults. With Pirates Week around the corner, start today. Park a little further from the events and get a few more steps in. To learn more, log on to www.gov.ky/steps. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Phone lines are open. Our toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. Or WhatsApp number 925-3261. And we know that many of you know that number as well. I want to thank all of those persons who sent in questions. Or when we had Ms. Danielle Coleman and Mr. John Tibbetts in the studio earlier as well, we're extremely thankful, for that. Ms. Susan, I missed that. Yes. So we will talk more about the most recent updates as far as information is concerned about the weather system here in the Cayman Islands. And this one was released at 8:09 this morning. Cayman Islands government, Cayman Islands placed under hurricane warning. That was at 7 a.m. So under the guidance and advice of the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service and the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman Islands, the Cayman Islands have been placed under a hurricane warning as of 7 a.m. today, Monday, the 4th of November, 2024. This decision was taken on the advice of the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service and the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman. National Hazard Management Executive met yesterday, Sunday the 3rd of November, to discuss preparations and plans for the upcoming storm. The National Hazard Management Executive is chaired by Her Excellency the Governor and Honorable Premier. The meeting was attended by ministers, the Leader of the Opposition, and Deputy Governor as Chair of the Hazard Management Council. Hurricane warning means, and you heard Mr. Tibbetts explain it earlier on the show as well, a hurricane warning means that tropical storm force winds are likely within the next 36 hours ahead of possible hurricane conditions. Residents are urged to take immediate precautions to protect themselves and their properties, such as securing buildings, gathering emergency supplies, and seeking higher ground or shelter. At 4 a.m., the system was located approximately 455 miles southeast of Grand Cayman and moving towards the north at 7 miles per hour. The latest forecast track has the system moving between Grand Cayman and the Little Cayman by midday Tuesday, the 5th of November 2024. Cayman Islands National Weather Service indicates the following conditions for the Cayman Islands are likely. For Little Cayman and Cayman Brac, rainfall up to 9.5, that is 9.5 inches. Winds, tropical storm force winds in excess of 39 miles per hour. Gusts up to hurricane force strength of 74 miles per hour are likely. Wave heights estimated to peak between 9 and 13 feet. That is for Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. For Grand Cayman, rainfall up to 5 inches. Winds, tropical storm force winds in excess of 39 miles per hour with gusts up to hurricane force strength of 74 miles per hour. Wavelengths estimated to peak between 9 and 13 feet. As far as flood warning is concerned, a warning is in effect for all 3 islands. Those of you who own or operate small craft, for small craft warning, a small craft warning is in effect for all 3 islands. Increased wave action is anticipated across all 3 islands, which will likely result in property damage along some coastal regions. As far as sandbags are concerned, sandbag distribution will be made available for residents of Cayman Brac from 8 a.m. so that they are already available until 4 p.m. today at the following locations. For Cayman Brac, Cotton Tree Bay and Watering Place Gardens. For sand for sandbags will be made available at the following locations in Grand Cayman: Georgetown, Linford Pearson Highway; Bordentown at the Agricultural Pavilion; in West Bay at the West Bay Fire Station; and East End at the fire station as well. I would imagine the East End, that fire station, they mean the Frank Sound Fire Station. So only one fire station in that area, Frank Sound. Public is reminded to travel with their own sandbags where possible. Why would you travel with your sandbags? Anyway, public is reminded to travel with your own sandbags where possible. Support for those who are not able to fill sandbags will be prepared. Okay, so empty sandbags. If you have sandbags that have been used before, have been emptied, take those empty sandbags with you to get new sand. That's what that means. For as far as schools are concerned and government operations, schools will remain open today. That is Monday the 4th of November. However, schools will be closed on Tuesday, tomorrow the 5th of November. An update on shelter openings will be provided later today, and as you heard Ms. Danielle Coleman say, that information will be placed all over on all government websites, chat groups, whatever, as well. The Deputy Governor and Chair of the National Hazard Management Council is urging everyone to please prepare yourselves. And he's quoted as saying, "I encourage the community to have all necessary preparations in place and remind the public to closely monitor the ongoing developments of this system. The broader area of severe weather continues to evolve and become better organized, so it is with an abundance of caution that we have issued a hurricane warning. We continue to monitor the system to ensure that both the government and the public are able to respond quickly and appropriately to keep the community safe." And folks, if you want additional information, you can visit www.caymanprepared.gov.ky. And folks, like has been said earlier, we have been to this rodeo before. We have seen this. We have gone through all of the motions in terms of being prepared. You shouldn't take anything for granted. You shouldn't say to yourself, for instance, I prepared the last time and nothing happened, so I'm not going to do anything this time around. You never know. Weather conditions can change very quickly. It can be a very dynamic situation. And while weather forecasting has become more and more accurate as well, remember, humans, we have no control over that whatsoever, despite some people thinking that hurricanes can be created by human activity. You can go up there in the atmosphere and create a hurricane as well. We won't talk, much more, about that part of it. Let's see what Cayman Airways has to say in relation to the weather system as well. So yesterday, Cayman Airways issued a public service announcement, and it has to do with change fee waiver for all flights as tropical storm approaches the Cayman Islands. Due to the projected path of tropical storm approaching the Cayman area, Cayman Airways Limited has implemented a change fee waiver for customers who wish to voluntarily change their plans to travel to, from, and between the Cayman Islands. Customers will not have to pay a change fee or fare difference if their changes meet the following requirements. So for the change fee to be waived, here are the requirements that you have to meet. Tickets must have been purchased on or before the 3rd of November. Travel must be scheduled for flights departing between November 4th and November 7th, 2024. New travel dates must be rebooked by November 14th. All travel must be rebooked in the original cabin. All travel must be on Cayman Airways. Customers who wish to travel at a later date will have the change fee waived, but must pay any applicable fare difference charges. These customers can also apply the full value of the ticket to their travel bank account, provided that 1. Tickets were purchased on or before November 3rd. 2. Travel was scheduled between November 4th and 7th, 2024. Cayman Airways also wish to remind their customers to ensure that their ticket reservations contain accurate contact details, including an email address and phone number for the airline to be able to advise them directly of any updates if changes to the flight schedule become necessary. You can easily update your contact details online at any time. All you have to do is visit www.caymanairways.com and clicking on Manage My Bookings under the main booking window, where you can enter your trip details and then edit your contact details under the, and I quote, passenger details, close of quote, section as well. So there it is. Cayman Airways advising you that they have waived the change fee for customers who wish to voluntarily change their plans to travel to and from and between the Cayman Islands. But there are certain conditions that you have to meet, and I have share those with you, which include the fact that the tickets must be purchased on or before the 3rd of November. Travel must have been scheduled for flights departing between November 4th and November 7th. New travel details must be rebooked by November the 14th. New travel dates must commence by November 14th, 2024 and must be completed by December 7th, 2024 or by the original return date. All travel must be rebooked in the original cabin and all travel must be on Cayman Airways. With that, folks, we've reached the top of the hour or headline news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. In anticipation of Tropical Cyclone 18, Water Authority Cayman says it will reconnect service to all customers disconnected in the past month for non-payment. Reconnection will take place today, and this is to ensure that all customers can make the necessary preparations and store sufficient water for drinking and non-drinking purposes. Following the passage of the storm, any accounts not brought to good standing will be disconnected again. The authority encourages all customers to take note of the various storm preparedness recommendations at caymanprepared.gov.ky and the water and sewage specific tips on their website at waterauthority.ky. Quick reminder, at noon today, there will be sandbag locations at the West Bay Fire Station, Linford Pearson Highway, Agricultural Pavilion, and Frank Sound Fire Station on Grand Cayman. And then in the Brac from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Cotton Tree Bay and Watering Place Gardens. I'm April Cummings from Radio Cayman's Newsroom.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, but we're sharing as much information as we possibly can with you. And we do have a few birthday shout outs as well that I have been asked to share. Like I said early this morning, we sort of changed our regular programming to ensure that we accommodated the folks from the National Weather Service, Mr. John Tibbetts, and the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman, Ms. Danielle Coleman. So Mr. Denston Tibbetts wants me to give a shout out to Mr. Jimmy Powell. His birthday is today, the 4th of November. And he also pointed out that he will continue to listen to updates on the storm. So yes, happy birthday to Mr. Jimmy Powell, another Caymanian icon in so many different ways, in his philanthropy, in his contribution to the construction industry in the Cayman Islands. Many edifices have been built by him, especially on the 7 Mile Beach area. Yes, and folks, they were built far away from the high water mark so that it didn't affect them at all. Also, a great sportsman, especially in the field of cricket as well. You've heard, Dr. Steve Macfield, and others talk about his prowess as far as being a cricketer is concerned. So, happy birthday to you, Mr. Jimmy Powell. We also see that Miss Rose Barton celebrated her birthday yesterday as well. So belated happy birthday going out to Miss Rose Barton as well. Any more? Roland Ebanks celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday greetings going out to you as well. We see here lots of traffic on the road still. Heavy traffic around the cricket field area. Also by Jose's gas station. I think it's now called Rubis. Jose's Rubis gas station. Lots of traffic on our roads as well. Happy birthday, or belated happy birthday also to Mr. Bob Watler. He celebrated his birthday yesterday. So belated happy birthday greetings going out to Mr. Bob Watler. The Water Authority, they have put out another public service announcement. I will share that with you now as well. They're saying, please be advised that the Cayman Islands is now under a hurricane warning. Water Authority Cayman would like to urge all customers to complete all necessary hurricane preparedness and seek shelter as soon as possible. They also go on to say that depending on the forecasted path and predicted severity of the storm, it may be necessary for the authority to temporarily interrupt water service in order to protect the distribution system. Should this action be necessary, the authority will give as much notice as possible once such a decision has been made. Customers should ensure they have sufficient water stored for drinking and non-drinking purposes. Also, if you're planning to shelter somewhere other than your property, the Water Authority advises you to turn off the customer shut-off valve to prevent unexpected high water bills and property damage should a leak occur in your property's plumbing during the storm. So if you're going to shelter someplace other than your home, cut off your water supply from the Water Authority's main line. So in the event, if you have any damage, that you don't end up having to incur a high water bill on your end of the supply line as well. So we want to thank the Water Authority for that. And of course, they earlier announced that all of those persons who were disconnected in the last month for non-payment would be reconnected today to allow you to secure drinking and non-potable water for your purposes as well. So, Water Authority Cayman, they are on the ball, ensuring that they are good corporate citizens, taking into consideration that your health and your safety is more important than the almighty dollar. And while at the same time, in order for the Water Authority to survive, they have to collect their fees. But in those instances, like today, they're giving you a break. If you're hearing noise in the background, sounds like someone is drilling. That is not me in any way. But we have the good people from the Public Works Department here ensuring that Radio Cayman is prepared because, as you know, we have to be on air 24 hours, 7 days, 52 weeks, 364, 365 days. Right, Miss P? Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. I heard you down here. Not struggling,
no.
But I could tell you were lonely. I could tell you were lonely, so just came to keep you company for a little bit.
Great.
Yeah,
great.
and I was about to say that when you were talking about the drilling, the good folks from NRA and PWD are out shuttering up government buildings and make sure that Radio Cayman safe and secure, and we're comfortable, and the staff at ease. They're working hard to disseminate all the video. And we've been doing this for a long time. I just want to take the opportunity to give a special shout out to all staff here at Radio Cayman who have been working overtime to our listeners and keep country informed, and on latest information as we But I was thinking upstairs a while speaking with some of the guys who are working in the building, and that in a hurricane prone area or belt or whatever you want to call it, we should always be prepared.
Yep.
We shouldn't just wait until we hear the news that a storm or bad weather is coming. We should always be prepared. We should have that extra few dollars tucked away under the mattress like the old people used to do, and have that extra case or two of water, and or if you have a well or a cistern, make sure it's clean, and make sure the water is good, because I remember growing up, my grandfather and great-grandfather, Papa, as we called them, there was a time for cleaning out the cistern to prepare it to be filled with rainwater, and also cleaning out of the well, making sure you had new buckets, buy new buckets when they came from Jamaica, and those sorts of things, so from I was growing up, that was something that we did, and I lived in a household where there were my great-grandparents, grandparents, myself, 4 generations in one house, in one yard, and they taught us as children how to prepare, and that has stayed with me, and my classmates and friends my age and some even a little older, that's how we were taught. Whether I was the first grandchild and great-grandchild, I was a girl, and even if you were a girl or a boy, not because you weren't a boy, you were taught this is how we do things to prepare.
Yes, extremely important. And I guess depending on, I'm not sure, the storm will come from more from the east, northeast.
It's kind of the track hasn't changed much since yesterday evening, but these things have a mind. These systems have a mind of their own. So who's to know if it doesn't flip or flop, even when it reaches within our vicinity. But the weather service guys and all the other persons involved with making sure that we get the correct information are closely monitoring the system and
So from a personal level, have you had to do anything additionally or different than what was done a few weeks ago when we had the hurricane system?
I keep my hurricane shutters on. It's just maybe 1 or 2 windows, like my kitchen window and my laundry room, window that I keep open. So yesterday I started my preparations, like my yard furniture, like my lawn chairs and chairs that, you know, picnic table and those kind of things, and make sure they're all stacked, make sure there's nothing around my yard that can be blown away and blown around, become projectiles. And I've been what we call catching up my fruit trees that have been leaning from the last weather, and making sure that they're okay. My babies are okay. I just looked at a nice bunch of bottlers and I was like, please, dear Lord, don't blow this down. They're not quite fit yet and ready to eat. And you know, doing things like that and making sure there's nothing around my yard that can blow over into the neighbors to affect neighbors. And because I remember during Ivan, projectiles from the neighbor's yard that damaged their roof, and so I try to be cognizant and mindful of that. And then the neighborhood that I live in, we as neighbors, we help each other, you know, like take down coconuts, the big bunches of coconuts, and process them and get the coconut water. So the drums make, you know, pile them up and put somewhere low around either, you know, so you can them afterwards and things like that. And on Radio Cayman, do service, and other people do things like that, you know, take the coconuts. If you have that fit and it pick them, and you have much neighbor, you know, look after each other. That's Cayman.
For hearing this, Connolly, we're going to commercial break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Don't change that dial, please stay tuned. But also remember, our phone lines are open. Our toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp 925-3261. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
36 world finalists from 12 countries, 3 winning teams, and 1 global competition. It's the 2024 Young Chef, Young Waiter, Young Mixologist World Finals. This November 22nd to 24th in Singapore, and the Cayman Islands is in the finals. Cayman's Young Chef Champion, Brittany Bodden, Young Waiter Champion, Steph McDermott, and Young Mixologist Champion, Cody Wright, will be competing for the ultimate prize of $15,000. Join us in cheering on our young professionals, tomorrow's leaders in hospitality and service, as they represent the Cayman Islands on the world stage. Supported by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport, and Development.
The STEPS National Health Survey results indicate that the Cayman residents spent 50% more time in sedentary activity in 2023 than in 2012. The World Health Organization recommends 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per day for adults. With Pirates Week around the corner, start today. Park a little further from the events and get a few more steps in. To learn more, log on to www.gov.ky/steps. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I have the pleasure of having in the studio with me our Deputy Director, Ms. Paulette Conley Bailey. Ms. P, as many of us refer to you here, you were talking about, this isn't our first rodeo and everything, and I think mentioned something about, people going off whose financial situation is much, much better than mine, who have the luxury, actually, of when it comes to hurricane season, to relocating to another jurisdiction and then coming back home, after the hurricane season, is over. I'm not sure whether, even if I had the resources to do such, and, we do have a house in Greenville, South Carolina, but we saw what Helene did, to North Carolina and to that area there, which is just like about 50 miles away from Greenville, as well. But I'm not sure that I would ever want to avoid. Yes, you want to stay safe, but I would always stay at home and weather the storm. I grew up that way. Like you said, you grew up, like that. Your family taught you, how to prepare yourself, what needed to be done and everything else. But, some people, do have that luxury.
Well, everybody's different, It just so happened that I was away during Beryl. I was with my son in Oklahoma because he was finishing up his studies, and I was with him. But, the thing that comforted me when I was away and couldn't be at home was hearing Radio Cayman and just knowing that we were there for the listeners. I was comforted. I listened to yourself and to Dwayne. I think you guys work like 2 days non-stop. Non-stop, and all the other staff who was on air and who was behind the scenes, keeping the moving parts going. And I was comforted with the fact that the information that was being provided for me, I could feel relieved that no matter what happened, I would know what was going on. Fortunately, my husband was at home working, and he did the final preparations before Beryl arrived. But I was a listener during Beryl. And because of the great information sharing, I wasn't too worried. But it does make you feel different, not being in the situation to know for yourself what's happening at the time. So like you, I don't think I would rush to leave my home and leave my family and my co-workers. Even if I had the opportunity to, I would stay and ride it out, because I think personally, and this is my personal opinion, that we should help each other out and help to protect each other, life and property, life being number one. And I wouldn't leave.
Yep, I agree with that as well.
Another thing we were talking about after the break as well is medication. If you need extra medication, because obviously we don't know what the weather system is going to do. I mean, we know what's happening right now, but like we said, it has a mind of its own. So, if you need extra medication, please make sure you go and get it. I completely forgot to go and get mine, so I have to go and get that today as well.
Based on your participation, as far as hazard management is concerned, we should expect other releases to come out during the course of the day in relation to what needs to be done?
As meetings are held and more information is gathered and forthcoming, that will be shared with the Cayman Islands residents, and it's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes to make sure that everything is accurate, and that everyone is on the page. Hazard Management, Department of Communications, the National Weather Service, NRA, the regiment, the Cabinet Office, the governor, the premier, everyone is involved in making sure that the information that is put out
is consistent,
and accurate, because we are the official sources, we are the official media, and we have to get it right.
And people rely, some exclusively on the government's services in terms of the information that
most
is put out
definitely
there. And we encourage them to
most
do that.
Definitely.
So we if we're going to encourage them, then we have to ensure that that we give them accurate and precise information and timely. Timeliness is so important.
That's exactly true. And it's amazing that we have social media now to help us get the message out. I mean, all those many years ago, sometimes all we had was the weather person, giving us the information, and we used to go out in the storm and do live reporting about the situation at different places over the island until it got too dangerous, and then we had to take cover. But it's, so many things, so many memories flood my mind when I think about how we did reporting in the old days. Now you can send a WhatsApp message and hundreds of people get that message. I was speaking to an elderly lady yesterday who was, and I had to calm her down because she was distraught, just having memories of Ivan and of the flooding, and I said to her, don't worry, I will keep in touch with you. I'll let you know what's happening, what to put in place, when to put it in place. And from last week I kept saying to her and to my mom and other elderly people, make sure you have your food, make sure you have enough food, do you have enough water, make sure that your family members, or let me know, and I'll make sure that you get enough water, because so that if things change, you're well taken care of. Don't worry, you can call me anytime you want, and I will let you know what's going on. If you missed it on the radio, or don't worry, I'll be there for you. And so later on in the night, I got a message saying, thank you so much for letting me know and for caring. I feel more relieved after speaking with you. And that is something that we've done over the years, that I can't speak for other media houses, but I can speak for Radio Cayman staff, that when it comes to the elderly, that we've always made ourselves available for them to help keep them calm and to help them through these situations.
And what a lot of people don't realize, and I'll give away Miss Susan's little secret, that many people, you may not hear them live on the radio, but they will call in to the announcers. They will call in to the programmers there and talk and have personal talk and express themselves and receive advice. So, all that Radio Cayman does, it isn't always necessarily broadcasted.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, I know that because you have to realize that there many older persons who don't own a computer, who don't know anything about WhatsApp. They don't have a smartphone. They don't. They have TV. Some of them do, and some don't. I know many people, the only thing they have is a radio and Radio Cayman. So when they call 9 o'clock at night saying, Miss Paulette, we've had lots of lightning up here and the station is gone down. Can you tell me when you'll get it back on? And sometimes we don't know that Radio Cayman has gone off air because there has been a lightning strike that has affected our transmitters, or the transformer has blown next to the bunker, or some other situation like that. And so there are ears and eyes as well. And then in turn, then I can call the engineer and say, Cayman Brack is off, this has happened, and we can get quickly working on it right away. So, yes.
Okay, folks, we're going to take another commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, our Deputy Director, Miss Paulette Connolly Bailey. Miss P, we know the service that Radio Cayman provides to the people, of the Cayman Islands and beyond, because there are people who listen, in other jurisdictions to Radio Cayman as well. And many people depend on Radio Cayman for their official news. They rely on Radio Cayman for entertainment to a certain extent, as well as providing information on various topics. And while Radio Cayman is a government-owned radio station and not necessarily designed to compete, with the private sector, we do provide a vital service and there are expectations that we have to meet based on our listening audience as well. Can we talk a little bit about Radio Cayman in the future, the direction that Radio Cayman will head in, and some of the things that are being done to improve on the already pristine and unique service that Radio Cayman offers?
Well, I'm very excited because everybody knows that we have just been given funds by the government to upgrade Radio Cayman, and that not only includes the building, but it also includes equipment. And we are very, very thankful and grateful for those funds. We have a first engineer who is always making sure that we have the best and cutting edge equipment technology to take Radio Cayman forward. There is one thing though that I think I should touch on that a lot of people get upset about, that hopefully I can explain to them, and that is when we get a lightning strike, especially over on Cayman Brac. The process of fixing equipment when you have a lightning strike is very technical, and sometimes when that happens and our equipment is affected, we get concerns from the public about why it takes so long to fix equipment from lightning strikes. And you know, it's not just Radio Cayman, it's other radio stations and other media outlets who use certain types of equipment to broadcast their messages and you know, to broadcast in general.
Yeah.
And
so you end up sharing the same.
Yeah, we share a tower, and it's just like your equipment at home. Sometimes even if you have a power surge protector, that gets fried as well. So, you know, there's only so much that you can do when a lightning strike happens. Of course, we are positioning ourselves to make sure that we have backup equipment to fix the radio station or to fix the equipment when things like that happen. And it's just been unfortunate for a few times over the past 2 years that even the backup equipment got destroyed by lightning. And so you have to wait to get this equipment from overseas from our providers. You know, the engineer has to, especially the back, have to fly away to a situation to do his best, get us back on air, making all kinds of his own inventions, I call it. You know, he's a master of inventing stuff to keep us on the air because and he works his fingers to the bone to make sure that when we have situations like that, that it's taken care of, you know. So it's not always, well, why can't you get it fixed? We've been off the air for 2 hours now. Well, those are some of the scenarios that take place, you know, and
so will the funds help with some other redundancies as well to, you know, to have more built-in redundancies?
Most definitely. You know, we have plans in and of work that will be done in different phases. We have all and there's a lot of moving parts, obviously, to get this done. And you know, this is a plea from me, Miss P, to our listeners. And to the people of the Cayman Islands, please be patient with us as we go through these upgrades, as we make sure that we have things like extra equipment, extra staff. You know, we fall under the Cabinet Office, and they are working very diligently with us to make sure that we get things done properly and in the right manner. And I personally want to thank them for that, you know, for sticking with our team and for really being there for us, and thank the Premier for her vision, because she knows, and I'll probably get some flack for this, but she knows, especially Cayman Brac, she knows what we go through when Cayman Brac goes down, because some of the older folks that I was talking about earlier who don't have computers, who don't have smartphones, they rely on Radio Cayman heavily. So and herself, and also the Mr. Honorable Moses Colonel as well, you know, they are very much aware of what happens when we get these kind of lightning strikes, or get these,
and how dependent the sister islands are, you know, in Radio Cayman.
Exactly. So, you know, both of them are very supportive of Radio Cayman and the work that we do, and especially for the residents of the sister islands. So there's going to be changes. There's going to be some times when we'll make an announcement and say Radio Cayman will be off the air for 15 minutes or 20 minutes because we're changing out equipment, and we can't do it while the person is working on the equipment for safety reasons. We can't have someone climbing the tower to fix cabling and we're on air. We have to cut electricity and those kinds of things. So those are all the things that some of the things that happen when Radio Cayman goes down. So you get a little bit better understanding of it's not that we're not doing anything, it's just that we have to do it in a safe way to protect our engineer and the other support staff who are working on the tower, working on the transmitter, are trying to get the generator back up, because maybe some electrical problem occurred when we had the lightning strike. The power systems that were destroyed have to be we have to source them and get them back if our backup was struck as well. So we have to it takes time to get those things and get them back in place. We don't want to be down at any time, but we're not God. We don't control.
And when even though, you know, we have moved into modern technology, you know, there's still issues with those, you know, technologies, you know, as well. You know, websites, you know, go down. You know, the WhatsApp channel may go down, you know, as well. And what also people need to realize, and you can speak, we'll take a commercial break and then you can speak to this as well. The other options that Radio Cayman offers to them, not just the live radio, which many people rely on, you know, but we have YouTube, we have, you know, WhatsApp, you know, all of those other things.
Yeah, we have Instagram, we use Instagram, we use Facebook, X, which was Twitter, Twitter, you know, email, all of those resources we use.
Okay, folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
36 world finalists from 12 countries, 3 winning teams, and 1 global competition. It's the 2024 Young Chef, Young Waiter, Young Mixologist World Finals. This November 22nd to 24th in Singapore, and the Cayman Islands is in the finals. Cayman's Young Chef Champion, Brittany Bodden, Young Waiter Champion, Steph McDermott, and Young Mixologist Champion, Cody Wright, will be competing for the ultimate prize of $15,000. Join us in cheering on our young professionals, tomorrow's leaders in hospitality and service, as they represent the Cayman Islands on the world stage. Supported by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport, and Development.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding Pain Cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price, and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. I have the pleasure of having in the studio with me our Deputy Director, Miss Paulette Connolly Bailey. And we're talking about Radio Cayman, what we offer, what will be offered in the future, as well. We know that when Radio Cayman was initially, the whole concept was to provide, service to the people of the Cayman Islands, and we continue to do that here at Radio Cayman. There have been times when the mere existence of Radio Cayman has been brought into question, I would say, in terms of whether or not it should still be government operated or whether or not it should be privatized. I don't believe that the people of the Cayman Islands will ever allow that to happen. I can say that. Ms. P might not be able to, but I can say that. The people of the Cayman Islands will never allow that to happen. And when you understand the history of Radio Cayman, where we came from, it is only Radio Cayman that can take you to where you need to go as well.
But getting back to the present situation that we're in, we will continue to put out the latest weather bulletins and any other pertinent information that our listeners need to know. Just a reminder, if you need bags, the distribution for today will be until 4, and sandbags will be made available here in Grand Cayman, Georgetown, Linford Pearson Highway, in Boddentown, the Agriculture Pavilion, in West Bay at Fire Station, and in Easton at the Fire Station. And speaking about sandbags, my sister brought some from Errol, and because I live about 16 feet above sea level, where, however,
even though you're close to the shoreline, but you still
but there's a little area by my back door that always floods. I'm not sure why. It doesn't take a long time for the water to recede. But my sister was kind enough to, when she went to get sandbags for where she lived, to bring some for me to put by my back door. And yesterday there was a little hole, and peeking out of that hole was grass. Grass was growing. But if you have sandbags, if you got sandbags at the last weather situation that we had, and they're still good, please use them.
Yeah, if they haven't been contaminated.
Yes, if they haven't, exactly. And, try to be mindful of the fact that there might be persons, your neighbors or friends, who have not gotten the opportunity to get them before, or might not even have a ride to get them. So, you know, be kind to your neighbors and help. But if you're going to get some and you know there's an elderly lady living next to you who don't have any or anyone to help them, or a gentleman, you know, be kind and help them out. You know, we're so fortunate that our government goes the extra mile to providing sand and the sandbags, so that if you can't afford to buy them, and they're not very expensive, to the best of my knowledge. I think the most expensive one is like $2 or something. But if you can't afford them, you know, this is your opportunity to get them. And support for those who are not able to fill sandbags will be provided today from 12 to 2 p.m. here in Grand Cayman, and then again from 4 to 6 p.m. And also just a reminder for parents, please make preparations. Remember, schools will be closed tomorrow, so please make your preparations. Don't wait until the last minute. And if you have little ones, I'm speaking from experience, who don't understand what's going on, you know, why all the fuss, why is mommy doing this, why is daddy doing this, and you know, and the thunder and lightning is happening, you know, prepare yourself. You as a parent, prepare yourself mentally and prepare the children as well, because sometimes they get, my son doesn't remember, he tells me he doesn't remember, but for many years after Ivan, if he saw it raining very hard and the sky was black, he was like, Mommy, is there a storm coming again? Are we going to be okay? You know, because he was traumatized from Ivan. So there are many things to think about. I know the mental health helpline, more information will be coming out shortly about that being open, where you can call if you need help, if you feel, you know, distressed in any way. And also we'll be getting updates from the Health Services Authority and various other places in the community, if you need help in any way, shape or form. So we will get that information out to you. Just keep tuned to Radio Cayman 89.9 FM here in Grand Cayman, 93.9 and 91.9 in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. So and if for any reason you need to call in a member of staff, or you know, just call the radio station and we'll try to get information to you if we have not put it out over the air. If you're worried about something, just call us. We'll do our best to help you, and if we don't know how, we'll seek the help for you.
Put you in touch with the right person. Yeah. And you know, you mentioned schools as well, and for those persons who have a tendency to criticize the education department when they quote unquote make last minute decisions, at least we knew from yesterday what the situation would be as far as schools tomorrow is concerned. So people have, you mentioned about parents planning, they have had advance notification that they will, you know, schools will be closed tomorrow. So more than enough lead time. What I haven't seen, and whether or not it is being contemplated, what governments, and I guess that will depend on how things develop, on later developments. You know, what, as far as government workers are concerned, what will be the situation with them? Whether only essential those who provide essential services will need to report to work, or whether or not everyone will be expected to report to work.
Well, I've been reliably informed that the Deputy Governor will inform civil servants later today after his meetings, and so we will know in time as well, in a timely manner. Like I said, there are many moving parts and many and things happening that has to be considered, but the Deputy Governor and his team are being very thoughtful, and they will get the information to us so that we can get it out to the public and civil servants in a timely manner.
Yep. So, as usual, old reliable Radio Cayman right there,
We'll be
right
here.
there, providing,
We'll be here with you.
providing
through it
all of the services, everything that is needed. And again, I want to echo my thanks to Minister Kenneth Bryan, who was scheduled to come on this morning to talk about the FCCA meeting that was attended recently. He gave up his time so that National Weather Service representative, the Director General there, Mr. John Tibbetts, and Ms. Danielle Coleman from the Hazard Management Cayman Islands could be in the studio to talk, about the weather system. We know that there were many people on our roads this morning, many delays as well, so they would have had their radios tuned into Radio Cayman to get that information, and the whole intent was to reach people where they're at, and especially, when they're on the roads early in the morning as well. We saw some delays there. I saw where someone put a message out that from Cox Lumber in the Peace Bay area in Bordentown, it took them 33 or 39 minutes from there to get just to Beach Bay this morning.
I think, a lot of people were starting to prepare from the weekend, because on Saturday, I don't think I've seen traffic like that in a long time. And you and I come down very early in the morning, after 6 o'clock in the morning, and even at that time, from 5:30, I can hear the cars whizzing past where I live, and sometimes I'm thinking to myself, maybe I need to leave a little earlier. Maybe I need to leave a little earlier, because the traffic sounds so bad already. And I get to the end of my road, which goes onto the main road on Shamrock, and my head is like going from left to right and left, like the windshield wipers. And I'm like, so much traffic already. But I think people were starting to prepare from the weekend, because they have been listening and have been heeding the warnings, which is a great thing. And so I know colleagues, who were anxious to get to work today to prepare their desks and make sure everything is in order, and those sorts of things. So I think that's part of people being prepared, and at least I hope so anyway.
Yes. We have about 2 minutes left. Anything else that you want to share? Of course, when you return from your meeting later on, you will have additional information, as well, and there are likely to be more public service announcements in terms of
and
any development.
As always, Radio Cayman will be with you through the night. We're always here. We'll always be here. God sparing our lives, and I just want to say, let's look after each other. Take care of each other, and even for those who you've had disagreements with in your family and mightn't be speaking to you now because they're mad at you, take care of them. Let's take care of each other, and like any other system, this will take its course, and we just have to go with the flow of things. And whatever you do, don't forget to pray and thank Almighty God for keeping us. Because without Him, we're nothing. So that's our best be in every way, and to keep the channels of communication open and look after each other.
And if the people out there, if they are informed, then certainly helps them to be much more prepared, and also gives them the ability to react to particular situations when they change as well, if they remain informed.
That's correct. Just be careful on the roads, be courteous on the roads, and
patient too.
The 2 seconds that you take to overtake me and slam into somebody else is not worth it, because you're gonna get where you're going, and 2 seconds faster doesn't matter. So in in your going out and coming in and being on the road in your preparations, be mindful of others and be courteous and kind and passionate. And when this is all over, continue to be that way. Don't let it be just for this system and other situations in our lives. And Caymanians are used to being our brother's keeper and being neighborly, so let's keep that in mind.
Thank you, Ms. P. Folks, don't forget John Sterling, Rainy Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And, of course, Radio Cayman, your official radio station in the Cayman Islands, will keep you informed, keep you updated on developments as they occur. And as usual, we ask the good Lord, please bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, no Cayman, Cayman right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman.